Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Untold. And for today's episode, Lejane, it's another one where I'm out of my element, but it's always great to, better myself with this because today we have a fashion stylist.
Yeah, she's also a creative director and a photographer, and I'm going to be in my element, I
Yeah.
think. We're going to have so much fun talking about the things that she does for shoots and styling people. I'm very excited to hear what she has to say.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about Shouag Hayat. She's amazing. From reading her brief and going to her social media account and everything, she's talented. And honestly, the thing about fashion is, I think I'm speaking for all men out there, it's such an enigma for us, right? It's such a puzzle with a lot of pieces. So it's always, great time to sit with an insider member of the fashion industry and to talk us through all of that.
I agree. You've mentioned previously how your mother still does your shopping.
Yeah.
And I think I know a lot of guys whose mothers or wives do the same thing. Whereas for women, we love shopping. We're kind of trained in it from a very young age to love clothes and go shopping. I think it was one of my first hobbies in Kuwait growing up. So I'm very excited to hear what she has to say, and I think we should just dive right in.
Yeah, I think on that note, we should just dive right in. But we are going to take a very quick break and come right back after this one.
Welcome back from the break. Today we have with us a very special guest, Shouag Hayat, who is a creative director and a fashion stylist. Shouag, welcome to the show.
Hi, Lejane. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm honored to be here today.
It's really wonderful to have you.
Yeah, honestly, because by the brief, mashallah, you're specializing in so many different factors. So I do want to ask you is that how did your creative journey begin? Like what got you into all of this?
So for me, I think this is literally just who I am. I like to explore everything. And since I was a kid, it was very much fine arts, colors, drawing, studying, putting things together. And I feel like it was the building blocks for me as I grew. My parents pushed it as well. Yeah, kind of made me who I am today. The puzzle pieces, I want to say.
I love that. And I think it shows also with your style today. It's amazing. I love it.
I try.
No, it's really, really amazing.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people don't realize the behind the scenes of a lot of creative shoots and things,
Definitely. يعني it looks like sometimes on the surface that it's something that's very easy to be putting together and whatnot, but there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it, for sure.
You mentioned that this started for you very young and your parents always
Yes.
supported you.
Yeah.
Would you say that there was a specific moment that triggered this from more of a hobby to a passion and life choice?
We had a university event where people had to be in costume.
That's cool.
So it was a lot of fun. And I'm obsessed with costume. يعني really, I also actually wanted to get married in costume.
No way.
Sorry, I moved.
I feel like that would have been quite amazing.
Yeah,
if you
but
had-
both families said no. That one day we were getting prepped for the university event. I entered a store and I started dressing a lot of the students and my colleagues as well. So then a person in the store came up to me and was like, do you want to work here? I'm like, I actually go to fashion school.
No
They're
way.
like, no, but on the side. So then I got a temp social security because I was in the States and I started working there and it was what really started to build up the styling. And I was only 18 at the time, so it started growing and it was fun.
That's amazing. I love how sometimes things happen organically
Yeah.
and that leads to the right path. I feel like a lot of the time when something is meant for you, the right opportunities just present themselves in front of you.
100%.
What do you think, Abdullah?
Yeah, honestly, it's, I want to say, mashallah, it's like, your path kind of, fell all over you and you basically found your purpose early on. You said 18 years old. So I think a lot of people are going to be feeling jealous. We have people who are in 40s, 50s who still don't know what their purpose is. And you, mashallah.
I'm still a question mark.
Oh.
You want to say? I love it, but I still question what's to come. I always feel like I'm still learning. I always feel like I'm excited about what's around me. And my inspiration comes in from multiple directions. I still don't have that, what am I? I don't know. But I like putting things together and I love that feel of when patterns and colors and people and all that in one mix become one,
I love
that
that.
hasn't changed, I feel.
I love that. I feel like fashion really helps people to express themselves.
1000%.
And being the creative force behind that allows you to have a vision for, the client or for yourself that really
Sure.
shows the world amazing things.
I mean, يعني we're all born individual.
True.
You know, and for me, and with all my clients or any project I work on, the most thing I will always say is be unapologetically you,
I love that.
because there's only one you. So, yani, why try to be something or conform to a trend or something? It's you that people are going to remember, and your personality and who you are above everything else. Like, there's one Lajain, there's one Abdullah. There are other Lajains and Abdullahs and Shouags, but as an individual, you will only shine by being the person that you are, because nobody can be you.
That's
You
so
know?
true.
Yeah. And in fashion, I feel like the way you express yourself through what you're wearing, it doesn't have to be shiny or colorful or whatnot. It could be just you. And that makes you who you are, instead of trending into something else.
Just
Clearly,
be-
I don't like trend. So, yeah.
Just be authentic, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even if it is trend, make it your own.
I love that. I think more people should focus on just being themselves with every aspect of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, speaking of being yourself as a stylist, like how do you, pick for a person? How do you style a specific kind of attire for a person? Do you take their own personality into, the equation, or are you like, okay, I see this is working perfectly for you?
I could never know if something would work for someone from just the get-go. Like, I have to sit down, I have to get to know you, I have to understand your personality. So even with my clients, the first thing I do is, let's go for a cup of coffee.
Oh,
And I sit down and I get to know the actual person, because how am I going to address you if I don't know you?
That's
And
lovely.
the worst thing you could possibly do as a stylist, which is not our job, is to put your style on a person. Because then you're putting your individual being on someone else, which doesn't make sense, For me, it's getting to know someone and finding what they love and bringing it out through clothing. I hope
think-
that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense.
It makes sense in my
And
head.
I love that that's the way you approach, a client or different shoots, because as you said, a lot of people are individuals.
Yes.
So it wouldn't work if, for instance, you put your style on me, but it might not be me. So
True.
I may not act like myself as much if I'm
صح.
feeling like I'm wearing something that's not myself. I'll be uncomfortable, or I'll feel
Yeah.
shy or something.
Or you might just, like you said, you feel like it's not who you are. So it's like, why would I do that? I want to know Lajain. I want to see Lajain. Like, when Lajain walks into a room, that's Lajain.
Yeah, and I think that's part of your job.
Lajain wearing Shouag. That's weird, in my opinion. So for me, it's like, I want to bring out what Lajain adores in what she's wearing.
That's beautiful. I think that really helps you also bring out the person underneath the outfits.
Of course. 100%. Yani, I feel like fashion is a form of expression of confidence. And sometimes, honestly, if I'm not wearing an outfit I love, I don't want to go out. I want, even if it's to the supermarket, like, put me in a color and I'm happy. And even if it's like a solidified beige or something, I'm in a color, it's my mood, and I'll walk out. But for me, it's genuinely how I'll see someone and how they express themselves. Because even if you're in a tracksuit, or if you're in 6-inch heels, or if you're in a abaya, it's how you beautifully bring out yourself.
I agree. I think that's a really wonderful approach. For instance, I also feel that way when, even before I go to bed, sometimes I'll pick the pajamas based on my mood.
صح.
Like yesterday, I wanted to feel more confident. So I wore like my yellow t-shirt, and then I go to
love
bed
that, yeah.
just to give me that feeling that
The
I'm
boost
going to
of
have more,
comfort and
exactly, that energy. Do you ever do that, Abdullah?
I think, I think for the viewers, they're going to be noticing that I'm kind of lost in all of this, in all of these conversations, because honestly, I just see whatever first in my cabinet, I just wear that and just go whatever. But I realize that a lot of people, they have a lot of, I wouldn't say responsibilities, but they have a lot of pressure, to be their best self, to represent their self as how, whatever perfection they seem, right? And that's honestly an amazing skill to have.
I mean, it's hard sometimes, because with myself, if I'm in a mood or something, it's the worst. I'm the worst.
That's why I
picking
say-
out my outfit. Like, what am I gonna wear today? Like, you get it, because I'm flustered, or I'm angry, or if I'm dealing with a client that maybe doesn't feel like she or he exudes confidence, but we find that, and it takes time. It's a skill that I definitely needed experience to understand.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
it
what-
didn't come so naturally.
Right, and that's why I said it's a skill, because for me, if I'm feeling down, I immediately go to food. I'm a very
Interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
because I'm a very moody kind of food eater. If I'm feeling down, I go to food. So my
burgers.
skills are related to food, but I realize that for a lot of people, they have the artistic skills to represent their feelings in what they're wearing. And honestly, that's as much skill as it is talent, as much as it is, you know, ourself.
Abdullah has mentioned previously that his mother still does a lot of his shopping.
Yeah, from
So-
Turkey.
I love that. Turkey's amazing.
Yeah.
You find so much in Turkey. But also with a lot of my male clients, it's a lot. Sometimes their mom will buy it or their wife, but also who knows you better?
Yeah.
You
True,
know,
actually.
yani sometimes, and in a lot of male clients, I feel like they want their comfort and practicality above everything else. And now, Tara, in our region, also men love to dress, but it's just also sometimes scarce to find local things that are more male-based than female-based.
Yeah, and also we need those people because my sister is very, you know, as siblings are, they're very on the point.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, ذوقك خايس, we gotta change what you're wearing. And I always follow their guidance. I'm like, okay, I don't argue there anymore.
But also, why don't you argue? Because you're comfortable in
Yeah.
what they put you in, صح?
Right.
If they put you in something that didn't make you comfortable, I feel like you'd be like, لا كلش مو أنا.
Yeah.
Or it's not me, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like with sometimes the people that are closest to us maybe know us best, but also sometimes the people close to us don't know us at all.
Right.
That's why I feel like even you, Abdullah, try to do it alone once. Jump into a mall and be like, I'll go shop. You're wearing color today as well.
Yeah, I really love the
So,
blue
yeah.
blazer on
Yeah.
you.
You're in chocolates and maroons and baby blues. Yani you're already on point with
I think
color
you're-
coordination.
I think we already lost him by mentioning the
Yeah,
colors.
I only know like 6 or 7 colors, and then previously you mentioned something about beige. I was like, okay, that's a new kind of beige.
No, it's okay, I love that though.
Yeah.
But I think, Yani, do you find your style and comfort?
I think for me is, yeah, basically whatever I find you know, comfortable is the thing that I wear. And it's not like I go out in pajamas or training sweats, right?
Yeah.
I try to make an effort, but I
Nice.
think for me personally, I just don't have I would say the beauty or the kind of eyes necessary to mix and match perfect colors, right? Or mix and match, like this works with that. Like I don't have that kind of skill. For me personally, whatever is in front feels comfortable. Okay, I feel like, okay, that's right.
Makes sense. Yani, for me, a lot of my male clients are like that. I always say, stick to the silhouette that you love, but try it in a different color.
Oh, okay.
And then once you do that, you realize, oh, that's new, but it's the same t-shirt. I like it. I look good. I walk out, you know? And then it's transforming something that is already in a warm place for you, but it's trying something new. I always think try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. My mom actually taught me from when I was younger that if you buy something you really love, buy it in another color as
100%.
well. That was one of the basic tenets I learned
I
when
love your mom.
shopping.
She's
I think you'd
great.
love her as
Yeah.
well.
It's 'cause
I'll
from
get to
nails to
introduce you.
everything.
Yeah, I think so. I have to introduce you guys. But something I want to ask you about,
Yeah.
the fashion industry itself, everyone sees it as super glamorous and fun and easy. Could you tell us more about the misconceptions of that? Because I think it's actually a lot harder than people realize.
Look, I'm number one, definitely a workaholic. That's a given. And the fashion world is also one that could be glamorous, could be toxic at the same time, and could be an in-between. But it's about you and how you guide it, I feel. When you look at something that's more eco-friendly, that helps the environment, that helps the people that you're helping, that helps be sustainable and more recyclable when it comes to what you're wearing. And it's about quality over quantity. We have the fashion industry that's ruining our global climate and the majority of pollution in the world.
Yeah, fast
But-
fashion.
Exactly. So it's about sticking to local. It's about sticking to understanding what you're buying. And it's about going correct in your buys, I want to say. And that as a stylist is what helps. So it's not always just the glam and the surface life of shiny and happiness and everything together. Yes, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's about also not sticking to mainstream and actually moving at your own beat, you know? Like I've never ever stuck to trend. And if I do take a trend, I'll take it and turn it into something else for myself or any client, because again, that's what makes you an individual you. And it's not about sticking to fashion. It's more about sticking to your individuality.
I love that. We're going to go on a short break and then I want to dive deeper into this message.
Fun.
Stay tuned for after the break.
Hallo, ich heiße Abdullah, das ist die Untold. And in case you're wondering why we switched to German, it's because we found out our guest Shouag is honestly, mashallah, knows 5 languages.
way to put me on the spot, guys. And beautiful German there.
Thank you.
Yes, I grew up learning a lot of languages because my mom loves language. And I lived out of Kuwait the majority of my life. But French and English were what I knew most in the beginning. And then because of my parents, Arabic, of course, was the prominent language at home. But because I was abroad, English came more naturally. But yes, prominent Arab right there. And because of the French, Spanish and Italian came easier.
That makes sense.
Because of the Latin.
Yeah, they're the romantic languages, so there's a lot of
Yes.
similarities between them.
Definitely.
Where did you live outside of Kuwait?
A bunch of places. I was born in London. I was
Amazing.
there for a few years. We moved back to Kuwait for a year when I was younger. Then DC for about 5 years, Paris for 2, Bahrain for 3. And then I was telling my dad, want to be home for a little. And I stayed here for my last 2 years of high school. Then I moved to San Francisco to study fashion design and visual merchandising. Went to Mexico City and then Ottawa, finalized, worked a little there, and then came back to Kuwait. And I've been here since 14.
MashaAllah. So you're really multicultural, basically.
Definitely a nomad, I would say, or a third culture kid, for sure.
Would you say that helped influence your style and fashion?
1,000,000%. But my main inspiration is definitely my mother.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, she was my style icon since I opened my eyes into this world. She is also, I think, my magnet to color above everything. And I think it grew from there.
That's amazing. I actually think it's actually the same for me with my mother. She's also very stylish and she actually is an artist.
Oh, I love that.
So color was a big part of my life growing up.
Wow. And you kind of become embedded in it.
Yeah,
you know?
it becomes a part of you.
Yeah, because like the people that birthed us are the people that we're gonna look up to, regardless of any form of situation. I feel like it's, especially if that's something they're passionate about, it's gonna trickle into you.
It does. It can't help but be that way. It's that whole nurture, nature
100%.
situation.
And now for sure we know our moms would click.
Yeah, our Anna, we should go out after this.
100%.
And actually, speaking of color, I heard something about you to do with color, that you associate it with memory or something?
Yes. Since I was a kid and to this day, I will never remember anything you tell me. Or a name. I'm also known for forgetting names.
I'm bad at names too.
Made fun of 24/7. Like, people come in, do you remember my name? I'm like, no. But I remember your face and the color of your eyes. Yes. I will remember what you're wearing forever because of the color coordination and contrast. I dream very vividly.
Wow.
And I remember memories mostly through color coordination.
That's
Like
really
colors
cool.
really, really, really grab me in ways I can't explain.
Yeah, I think that's actually a memorization technique called the
Yeah.
brain map,
Oh,
where
okay, I'm learning
yeah,
new
so
things today.
you were doing it without knowing about it, and
Okay.
actually it's very proven to work. The only reason I knew about it is because I was, when I was studying, that was kind of my cheating code. So it's basically you imagine a room, and then all of those rooms are connected to certain parts you want to remember. So for you, for example, it's the colors, right?
Yeah.
Within your mind, the colors are connected to something or connected to a person.
Yeah.
So that's why you memorize them well. And I think, that's a little bit of a trick and especially for studying season for the students out there, that's a mental trick you were talking about. And I do want to ask you about something that mashallah, you've spoken about so many cities you've been to, but if you were, again, this is putting you on the spot, if you were to pick one city that, influences your style the most, which would it be?
I feel like that's hard.
I'm literally at a loss of words. I don't think I could answer that because in every single city that I've been to, it's the people I meet that I feel like inspire everything in my mind, because you meet so many different kinds of individuals and from different cultures that in your mind it's like you remember their colors, the way they dress, my memories, because it's through color. I remember certain silhouettes, the movement of their clothing, the way that even their national clothing might be. So it's like something that I grow into my head and then I'll map out outfits with, if that even makes sense. But that's how I build the style. And for me, it's not about just color coordination. It's also volume in clothing, like sleeves today, you know, or patterns, or lighter tones and darker tones, or picking different details in an outfit and making it a story, you know. I cannot answer which city.
I mean, you answered it greatly.
The world,
Yeah.
I feel like, is what a global citizen, I feel, is what would inspire style in my mind.
Speaking of, you know, how these things help you create a vision for your photography or for your clients or for some shoots,
Yeah.
how would you merge those two worlds together?
Really great questions, guys.
Thank you.
They're very, very, very different.
Really?
So, yeah. Look, when I'm shooting, and if I'm on holding a camera, my favorite thing on this planet is capturing emotion of the
Oh,
person on the set.
that's
So
lovely.
it's that connection that you have with the person in front of you. That's a moment you're never gonna get again. And then you find it and you hold it, and it's centered, you know. With styling, it's creating a story through visualization. So it's like you're taking something and you're building a color map out of it. I love the word brain map that you use. I'm going to use it forever. But that's perfectly put. I want to say a style map. I would create the story based on that person on set and build it through color coordination or volume in the actual clothing that I put them in. And it's creating that form of fantasy and character to either bring that person out on set through style or to create a story within a realm we're trying to create.
Yeah.
So very different. For me, photography is more about connecting and connecting negative and positive spaces. And then with styling, it's doing the same, but in a completely different way.
Yeah.
So I can't connect them.
And I do love how you mentioned that for photography, it's about capturing emotions.
Yeah.
Because there's a very famous photograph. I forgot the name, but there's an actor who was scheduled to do a photo shoot. So when the actor came, they took his picture, but then he got a phone call. The phone call said that your father passed away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then the actor told the photographer, "Don't stop the photo shoot. I want you to capture this moment." And
Oh,
then
wow.
and there's like a picture of before and after the actor got the call.
Yeah.
I think the picture is called "Moment of Grief" or something like that.
Wow.
And then you can actually pinpoint the amount of, sadness that the actor feels like, and it's so real. And I think that's the thing about photographs. They tell stories that are so real. I don't think any
100%.
other medium can replicate it.
I agree wholeheartedly, because you're truly capturing and encapsulating an emotion that you can't just be like, okay, stop, to a person that's speaking or someone acting or whatnot, but the camera can, you know. So especially when it's someone that's showing such a huge part of themselves. That's why portrait photography is my favorite. I love fashion editorial, but portrait is when you're entering the soul of that person and you're just like, hello, and they're saying hello back. So that's why it's very different. I agree wholeheartedly. But that's beautiful because you're holding on to an emotion that maybe could never come back again. That moment where he had lost his dad, I feel like is something that was caught and could never be replicated.
Yeah.
I love that because also it shows that you not only work on the outside, but the inside as well.
It's
You're
showing,
capturing
isn't
both
it?
moments.
Yes.
You know, you're capturing people's exterior and interior.
Yeah.
And that's not something people can usually do quite easily. And I think that helps you with your creative vision in general.
Yes, and sometimes it's very hard because it's showing all my vulnerability, you know? And at times where you're working with people that maybe are just doing it for the job, it's hard.
Yeah.
But also, it's also when you bridge with people like that and they're seeing the more commercial aspect of it, you try to parallel it with the passion that you have. So it's like, okay, do it for certain shoots, but for other shoots, hold back.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And the thing about, as we mentioned before, that pictures tell a lot of stories. So I do want to talk to you personally about that angle. Like, how do you tell your stories through these photographs? Like, is there a kind of, narrative you'd like to say, or an emotion you tackle, or are you like, an observer in the, world, just observing?
I think it's all three.
Okay.
Depending on what the set is, depending on the subject of photography, depending on the client. If it's more commercial, and I want to say fashion editorial basically, I would say that it's more business minded. It's more bringing out what is needed to be sold or to be pushed forward. When it's more portrait and you're coming in and getting to know someone, it becomes personal.
Yeah.
So then it's like you're building that relationship on set. And my favorite thing on earth when I am actually in capturing something is two people that don't know each other whatsoever on set. It's that first few moments where it's just the unknown, I want to say, or the untold. And then, and it's capturing that will allow you to find something that is so raw.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
Speaking previously, you mentioned how hard it is to bridge the two worlds together sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
Could you give us an example of something really challenging you had to face and how you adapted or learned from it?
So, like, let's say, trickling back to what I just said, for me, and I still find this very hard for myself, but it's finding the balance between personal and business. And it's gotten me to say no to a lot of projects because it makes me feel like sometimes I had to do things that is not who I am as an artist or a person that's within the realm. Like, my thing and what I told you guys from the get-go is be unapologetically yourself. So as an artist, I think it's unethical for you to stand up, even if it's business-minded, to be like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm doing this today. No, I can't do that. And even for some projects that I was extremely passionate about, I got on set and I'm like, I don't agree with this, and I'd walk away. So that's when heart comes in front of business, I feel. Still learning, trying, forever learning.
I mean, that's a good thing about being people in general. You know, if you're always striving to learn something, you're never going to be, you know, bored of wherever you are, right? You always have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you did mention before that a lot of what you're dealing with is about vulnerability.
Yes.
And so I want to ask you about what has this journey taught you about you yourself, you know, right throughout all of your decisions, all your paths?
That's a very big question. This has been one of the hardest journeys ever, when it comes to work, because I started before I became a mom and before I became, from when I was younger to when I was older as well. So it was from when I had all the time in the world to understanding how to time manage, to understanding what's prioritized and what's not prioritized. So patience, I feel, is a huge thing, and discipline, and learning how to say yes and no, I feel, but still putting yourself first, which is still hard for me.
Shouag, thank you. I feel like we learned a lot today, and I love talking to you about everything. We should definitely get our moms together at some point.
1000%. Yeah.
We're gonna take a short break.
Sure.
And thank you so much for joining us today on The Untold.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'm really glad to be here.
We're so glad to have you. Thank you, and stay tuned for after the break.
And with that, it's the end of today's episode of The Untold. Another highly educational for me personally about, you know, an industry that I know very little about.
Same, actually. I loved hearing how she merged the worlds of photography and fashion together, how one is more about the exterior and making people feel confident about themselves, whereas the rest is capturing the inner moments of people's souls. I thought that was really beautiful.
Yeah, I liked how Shouag emphasized the idea that she's not really a fashion stylist per se, as more of taking people's personalities, taking people's inner selves, and basically putting clothes on that represent them, right? That are perfect for who they are. And I think that was a very, you know, highlighting and enlightening kind of moment in the show, is that styling, whatever you choose to wear, it's not about you just putting clothes on, right? It's about having something that represents you. It's about having something that says, this is who I am.
I agree, and I love that personally, because I feel like fashion is a way of expressing yourself and telling a story, which she really taught us as well. And her emphasis on color and how it invokes memory and emotion, because as I mentioned, my mother was an artist, so I can also relate to her on that front. And I loved seeing how she was inspired by that to create the vision she has today.
Right. And on that note, that's the wrap up of today's episode of The Untold. But until the next one, goodbye for now.
Goodbye, and see you soon.